All right, now I will continue part one of my series here of what's up, everybody? This is Rob Shack of Samurai Warriors. Is it a masterpiece? I think it is. Yes, a masterpiece. Left it on a cliffhanger last week. Sorry about that, but it was also because I wanted to keep audience engagement, and also the video broke. So then I was like, well, I'll just release it now. So I'm going to talk through everything that happens in Extreme Legends that they fixed and modified and changed, and the ways that they, I think, improved basically in every single way. I'll talk about the few ways that I feel like they actually got worse in Extreme Legends, but it's very, very minor. It's not a very big deal at all. So in Samurai Warriors Extreme Legends, you still have your endings, you still have your missions, you have completion, how far you've gone with each one. You still have your items. There are more items now, and I'll talk about that in a second, how to unlock those. They're very unique and very interesting. Cool thing about this game is that ending 2s in Samurai Warriors 1 were in-game cutscenes, kind of in-game graphics. In Samurai Warriors 2, the ending 2s are also in as good of graphics as ending 1s. It's pretty cool. I think it's actually, I mean, I can see why they didn't do that for the main characters. It would have taken forever. You can also see the difference. Look at the power creep here between characters from the old game. They don't save your stats. It's kind of interesting. They just generically have them all at a certain skill set. But in Extreme Legends, it retains your actual skill, like your power and stuff. It keeps your items, which is good. So you see all my fifths. I got my sixth weapons here. Again, another reason to grind this game. You have some insanely powerful items and weapons, and as you play the game on harder difficulties, you get better items. So the pluses that I have are insane because I've obviously grinded this game a very long time. So all the weapons that are items that have pluses are really, really good. So I'll go through and talk about what each of these things did that was different, how they improved on each one. There's a lot of good things that they did in Extreme Legends. I've already started with the characters. One thing that I'll just go ahead and get out of the way because I'm gonna want to get this out of the way. They changed the voice actors for some reason. I don't know why. They made a lot of the characters British in this game. It's very jarring. So they will have dialogue from the original game recorded, and then they will, if they added new voiceovers for certain lines, the actors have different voices. A lot of them do. It's really jarring when you hear it, and you can't unhear it once you notice it. They tried to make them sound sort of like the old actors, but they really did not do a good job of that. So certain characters just sound weird. Like Mitsuhide, for example, is very, very British in his second Extreme Legends voice, and it's very noticeable when he talks. If he talks in his British voice, it's crazy. And what's very interesting is this game has voice testing, which is really cool, but they don't have the British sounding Mitsuhide in here. So they have all the recordings from Samurai Warriors 1 here, but they do not have anything he says in his weird British voice. So I can't prove it to you unless I go in and find it. But listen to Mitsuhide talk in this game, for example. He is British way more than he did in the first game. Nobunaga is similar, very British sounding. I don't have a problem with British people, but I'm like, this is Japan. Why do they sound like British people? I don't understand that. Like, they should just sound like themselves from the first game. These games have the same release year on the thing. They both say 2004, but for some reason they have different voices a little bit. I don't know why that is. All right, I'm just gonna get that out of the way. That was just, I wanted to say that as early as I could because I don't know why they did that. So cool things they did to this game. They added in archives, which is something that was a staple, and I think Dynasty Warriors 4, so they put it in this game as well. You can look at battles, you can look at characters, you can organize them by main characters, battles, support characters, and then which faction they're in, which is pretty cool. You can see that the big heartbreaker is that Kunoichi is not a real person. That is a generic term used for ninjas. I remember being really thrown off by that when I found that out later, and I was like, well, why did they make Kunoichi the coolest character in the game? She's so cool, and yet she's not even a real person. That's just a generic term for ninjas. How interesting. So, hoping it just ruins someone's day by saying that Kunoichi is not a real person. She's not. She's not, unless you want to consider her like the major of the Kunoichi. Who knows? But yeah, they had archives. Archives is really, really cool. In the options menu, I did just kind of gloss over this with the voices. You can now listen to all the characters and their special dialogue that's in the game, which is pretty cool. You can change the language. I think you could do that before. I'm pretty sure you could. But change the audio. There's a whole bunch of options here. I don't really change all this stuff because I don't like to do that too much. Um, it's good stuff. Special voice lines. You can see the ones when they interact with their person who they're close to. Each character generally has somebody that they respond well to. They are close to. It's pretty cool. And yeah, you can do the Muso gauge. And then there's also, this is pretty cool. There's special things that you can unlock. So these are really, really important if you want to unlock stuff, like unlocking the ultimate weapon on the easier difficulty. Very good. These are all very, very important. You can change the character models, stuff like that. That stuff's not as big of a deal. Save up for these if you're doing this. You want to unlock the 5th and ultimate weapons on easier difficulties. It's pretty amazing because the 5th, every one of the new characters has to get 5th weapons, and they're hard to unlock. Ultimate weapons are very hard to unlock on very hard or chaos or whatever. So doing it on hard makes it actually possible. I mean, you can do it on that, but why would you do that when you could just make it easier? So what they did in Samurai Warriors Extreme Legends is they redesigned pretty much everything. Little bit of subtleties in the differences in some of the items and how things look. Also, a cool thing is when you change the character model, they actually change their little dance at the beginning. What they do changes, and it's the same for all the main characters in the game too. When you change their character models to their bonus costume, they do in fact have a different animation, so you get a little bit more into their moveset without having to actually play as them at that moment. So it's pretty cool. That stuff is really interesting, and that Ina design is from her end cutscene, which is pretty cool. Free mode is exactly the same. There's not much going on here. Free mode is pretty chill. You still can unlock every character. Again, even all the main characters in the game also have the ability to change their animation at the beginning if you change their costume. It's pretty cool. It does retain all my characters. It does not retain their stats from my game because I maxed out a lot of their stats. So that's kind of weird. For example, this chick had like full attack and full defense, but now she's just like a kind of a above average type character because she's level 20. So they don't keep all that. It's kind of weird. But free mode is the same. The grind is real. You can do things for fun in there. It helps you get going. Survival mode is this gold rush thing. I'll show a little bit of gameplay here. This is actually pretty cool because they actually locked an item in Gold Rush. And since Gold Rush is... Some people probably hate that because you're thinking, why would I have to... I don't want to play Gold Rush. But if they're going to put the time and effort into this Gold Rush thing, into survival mode, you should play it. Like, you should try it out. It's pretty fun. You do things to extend your time. You do little missions, and you just collect gold the entire time. It's pretty fun. It's very straightforward. There's no there's dialogue, but it's not like in game. It's just scroll. But it's pretty cool. And your whole goal in Gold Rush is just to get money. One of the items is at the end. All that it is that you just have to buy it. It's not like it's some crazy gimmick. It's just pretty cool that they actually it's sitting right there. You can see it. So it's like it's just pretty awesome. You can just do things. There's trials. 10 bags of gold dust, for example, is a very common one. And since I unfortunately did not pick up all these when I killed Taikatsu, they're everywhere, so I can get a bunch of these and show that it increases your time limit, which helps you stay here longer. You can recruit generals, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot to do in here. It's pretty awesome. It's very fun, very easy. It gets difficult. You obviously want to leave the level. You keep your gold. If you leave the level with the gold as a result of that, that's how you afford eventually this crazy rare item that I don't even think I ever used. Yeah, Konomichi pops up, Keiji pops up, a whole bunch of people pop up. It's pretty interesting. And then yeah, you obviously try to take them out. It always gives you gold. The whole goal is to get gold, and eventually it'll let you know you can't get out of the level right away. You have to actually do stuff. But again, they put a lot of time into this, so it makes sense that they would link something to unlocking this. They should. They really should. You should play these modes because they put a lot of time into them, and they're really, really, really good. The modes are great, and you get so much treasure, and you can try out people's movesets in a way that doesn't require a lot of investment. It's kind of arcadey, kind of fun. It's just easier. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's worth it to try this, and I think it's great that they put items linked to here. I think it makes it really fun. You can just wipe out people, increase trials, keep your mission going. This is actually going really well here, but I don't think I'm gonna finish this all the way through, but it's just awesome. This is a redesigned castle that you don't go here in anyone's main cutscenes. The doors are from they even updated the doors in this game. They updated everything in Samurai Warriors Extreme Legends. I'm very pumped that they did this. There's supply units that pop up. Get rid of them. They're really fast, but you can catch up to them pretty easily. And then you just slash them, take them down, and they drop 1,000,000 gold. And it's just, there's a lot of gold, all the little things on the sides give gold too. Everything gives gold. It's pretty great. Let me see what else there is. Is there anything else to talk about here? Yeah, see, there's this one where it's get 15 or more combos. Not easy to do, but we can try to make it happen here. See if we can do it. And there we go. All right, so yeah, these are all really fun. Very enjoyable, and yeah, I'll move on. Oh, wait. Oh, you can't quit stuff? Oh yeah, you can't quit. Okay, here's one of the, I'm gonna use this moment to talk about something I don't like about this game. So in Samurai Warriors 1, and in almost every Dynasty Warriors game ever, if you hold start and hit select, or if you hold the equivalent of that on the Xbox, you're able to basically quit out of anything right away. It's pretty great. And for some reason in Samurai Warriors 1, you can't do that. Or Samurai Warriors Extreme Legends, you can't for some reason. Defeat the enemy whose last name does not begin with an S. Alright, I had these memorized before, but I don't remember now. Yeah, so in this game for some reason, you can't hit start and select and then hard reset back to the main menu. I don't know why they did this. It's very strange that they took that away. They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have. It doesn't make any sense. But they totally did. And it's really a pain when you're trying to unlock certain items in this game. And I can explain that more. And I guess this is a good time to explain that now. But with some modes in this game, you have to fail something, and if you don't fail it, you have to restart. But if you can't hard reset the game, and you have to just sit there and wait till your character dies. It's very, very annoying. It's very, very frustrating, and I don't know why they do it. So, yeah, I think that just seems like a really unnecessary change. Honestly, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to not allow that, but they totally could have kept that in. In the meantime, I'm just going to take down Kunoichi here. I guess I will be doing this all the way through because I don't want to stop recording this because I'm enjoying this video and it's been fun. But I'm like, I don't know why they took away the ability just to leave if you're not, if you fail a mission that you so this is the thing. If you fail a mission that you want to not fail, then you have to stick around. Some of these things you're trying to unlock very specific situations, and so that makes it if you failed it, then there's no reason to stick around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, these are just the things that I laugh at in this game. Is they were randomly you know what we need to do is we need to remove this random very minute detail from the game when again. So much of this game is, this is an expansion. It wasn't the full $60 or however much it cost to play one of these games. I can't remember what the price is of Samurai Warriors games back in the day. And yeah, I'm obviously gonna fail that request because I couldn't get into where the dude is whose name doesn't start with an S. So it's fine. Yeah, it's weird that they this is an expansion. So in the expansion, you think that they wouldn't take away any features. Especially features that are super helpful and specific. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they went that route to get rid of being able to hard select and get rid of people. So two things that I have not liked so far is the horrific weird changes to voices in this game. Certain characters' voices completely changed. I don't know why. I don't know why they would ever think to do that, but they totally do. It's very weird. And then also, yeah, you can't get to certain parts of this game. You can't, I'm getting just destroyed right now. But again, I'm not trying super hard because I can't leave, so I'm just trying to stall here for another 30 seconds. But yeah, it's pretty funny. This game is just fantastic, though. I'm not gonna say that this game is not good because of these two little things. It's just very weird that of all the things that they were like, you know what, we're gonna fix or change. We're gonna do like these two random things. We're gonna make it where you can't leave levels anymore. You can't start selected anymore. And I'm like, that's really, really important if I'm looking for something. And I failed it. So that's just me. I'm not rolling on that all completely. I'll just, in this moment, because I'm just waiting here, I'll just talk about this stuff while I can. So, alright, so I'll talk about the missions in the game and stuff like that while I'm here. So, there are new missions, there are new factions, there's a new level in this game. It's the Battle of Komaki Nagakute, which is a pretty cool level. Great music on that level. It's the battle between Ieyasu and Hideyoshi. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of variety on that level as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background on that one. So they do a really good job of making it, again, very, very interesting. I think it's really fun. They added, this was a big one. They added in-game cutscenes mid-game. Like cutscenes that happen in the game after certain levels. And they're in the good graphics that are created for the end cutscenes. They also have that level of graphics on these mid-game cutscenes. So there was a train. So yeah, that's the thing that's really cool is that and it's really hard to unlock those. They don't have those. That's one thing I would like is I would love if they had in-game, mid-game cutscenes, an option in the main menus. They don't, so that's kind of a bummer. But they do. I think that's still pretty cool. They added mid-game cutscenes between characters. Again, you can see the weird voice acting with that though. So like Kunoichi is a totally different voice actor, or at least she doesn't seem like the same voice actor between 1 and Xtreme Legends, and you see it a lot in Ina's cutscenes. Mid-game cutscenes because you see her a lot. Kunoichi and Ina kind of have a rivalry, and as a result of that, it's pretty hilarious to see her have a totally different voice. So I will end the video with my favorite thing that they added. That's not my favorite thing. You can play as the Strike Ninja though. You can literally play as the Strike Ninja in this game, and it's hilarious. And what's great about this game is that they linked a rare item to playing, like, I think it was like 50 rounds of versus mode against the AI or something like that. So you can play against the AI and unlock a rare item through playing it. I mean, they clearly were pumped that they unlocked the sumo. They made it so the player could play as the sumo. And as a result of that, they were like, we need to do something to link it to the sumo so people will just play as sumo all the time. You literally are up on a ring, and your character slowly drops health because, I don't know, I think that's just the way to... They say it makes you hungry, but I think that's pretty offensive. So I'm just going to say it's because it's a good challenge mechanic. It's a good gimmick of this game mode. So, yeah. But yeah, there's generals that spawn. Like Mitsuhide's here now. And I can also hit I can just keep punching this dude, and he'll eventually kill me probably because he's better than I am. The Gentle Giant one basically means the red one sucks, but I always play as the red one because this is so fun. You're invincible for a second, then you respawn and fight people again. So it's pretty amazing. The fact that you can play as sumo is very funny. The fact that they even thought of this is I mean, again, it's interesting because all the ninjas in this game actually do have their own movesets, which is very interesting. But the fact that you can play as the sumo is great. And yeah, that they linked an item to this, it's pretty amazing. Pretty good stuff. The sumo is hilarious. Very funny. Trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about with this game. I thought there was something else. Talk about challenge mode, new mode, free mode, same. But the sumo is great. I think that's fantastic. There's also Gatekeeper, which is the one where you are at a gate, you're trying to protect your gate, and the enemy, you can see them trying to do it too. And then Duel is just one-on-ones. It's pretty straightforward. And you can, when you load the original game mode, you unlock all the old survival mode and the old versus mode are all there, as well as the new officer mode. All that stuff comes into this game. And Tadakatsu has his new moveset when you do certain levels, instead of just being a generic officer. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to talk about. I loved that they gave unique movesets to characters that were in the original game that had generic officer movesets. I kind of wish that Kenyo was the fourth instead of Ina, because Ina and Tanakatsu have almost the exact same story. There's a slight variation, but it's not that different. I think having Hideyoshi as a character is awesome because Hideyoshi was very important in the first game, but had a generic spear. You get to kind of see his rebellion against Nobunaga and all that stuff. Yoshimoto goes from being a bumbling fool on the first level that you just blow past to actually winning. His moveset sucks. His moveset's horrific. Okay, that's one thing that's bad too. Yoshimoto's moveset sucks so bad. I don't know why they made him into Kamari, which is that ball game. That's fine, but they based his whole moveset around it, and his charge attacks are so bad that they made his flurry attacks do way more damage, and that's all you ever want to do, is just do his... Never use the ball. The Kamari sucks. Tanakatsu's amazing. Tanakatsu has an incredible moveset. Went from being a completely generic officer with a couple voice lines on certain levels to being a full-fledged character with a face on his back and cutscenes where he obliterates everybody in a rivalry with Keiji. He's really great. And then Ina, who is kind of useless in terms of story. Her only thing is that she wonders why she fights, and then she fights Konoichi a lot. Her moveset's amazing. If you could somehow give her moveset to Yoshimoto and then added Kenyo in Honganji for the Psycho Mercenaries, that would have been a little bit more interesting. Or maybe Nagamasa. So there's a lot of characters in this game that were had unique character sprites and animations or voice lines, but they were not added yet into the game. Like Nagamasa comes in, Ieyasu comes in Samurai Warriors 2. Their movesets were good. But in this game, I went with Ina, which again, that's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, but it's like, yeah, I would have rather them do one of the characters that was already in the game instead of making Ina. But all the stories in this game are really great. I think this is something I didn't really talk about in the first game because I didn't want to spoil it too much, but since we're at this point of the video, I might as well. The story modes in this game are amazing. Every character seems to have a purpose. It seems like Nobunaga and Yukimura are generally viewed as the main characters. Nobunaga and Yukimura are both fought a lot on pretty much every single person's in their story mode, or they're allied with them, like Konoichi is, obviously, with Yukimura, or Oichi with Nobunaga. But even she fights Nobunaga on hers, too. So I would say that Nobunaga and Yukimura are probably the main characters. I think the way that they made the characters in this game are so good. Every single character seems to have a really strong purpose in the game. Even characters who don't seem to really exist to be on a faction, like Goemon and Okuni, they have a lot of validity to their endings, which is pretty cool. Magoichi does too. Fighting Nobunaga, Mitsuhide and Ranmaru have their quarrel. Keiji tries to be a leader. Like, everyone has a purpose. This is something that I'm not going to talk about this now too much because I'll eventually review later Samurai Warriors games. Since all the later games water down all the uniqueness of each of these characters, and there's like in Samurai Warriors 2, Yukimura is no longer following Shingen, it's Sakon Shima, which is stupid. Why would you remove... Sakon Shima is not a bad character, but why would you make another character be the Yukimura to Shingen? Like, why would you do that? Just keep Yukimura being Shingen and have Sakon Shima be his own character and do his own thing. Like, this is the thing that they did that was perfect in Samurai Warriors 1. Every character's place in the world mattered, and even characters who had alliances, like the closest the closest character to not being relevant is Ina, because Tadakatsu is so strong and so awesome, and they both just basically are really strong. That's like their whole thing, is that they're strong. Tadakatsu has no wavering, though. That's the only difference. So like Ina is slightly more dynamic, but Tadakatsu still is a way better character than Ina. Everyone else seems to be very relevant and very important and unique in their own right, and you see that displayed very well through each of their endings. It's pretty awesome. They do a great job of keeping them, keeping the endings staying in their own lanes, if you will. Then obviously Okuni has a billion endings with every character dreaming. It's really strange. I don't know why they did that, but again, in Samurai Warriors 2, I don't even think you can play as Okuni. And then in Samurai Warriors 2, Ranmaru is not rivaling Mitsuhide. So I'm like, what were they doing? Why did they make Ranmaru and Mitsuhide have a great rivalry in this game? And then in Samurai Warriors 2, they don't even talk. They don't even know each other. Like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's like, are they friends or not? Because Samurai Warriors 1 in stories were way better than 2's, but it makes you wonder, were they just inaccurate? Like, now I'm going to look at the little archives and see if Ranmaru and Mitsuhide were actually friends. Because I'm like, I don't know. It says that he was great. He then tries to attack that dude, Nobunaga. So let me see. What does Ranmaru have then? Let's see Ranmaru's story. So it's interesting. They actually are not... I mean, I thought it was written really well. So maybe that is wrong. Ranmaru and Mitsuhide are not meant to be friends. Oh, no, there it goes. Maybe one of the causes that led you to start a mutiny. Okay. So yeah, they did know each other. So that's just, it's interesting. They like changed so many of the stories between Samurai Warriors 1 and 2, and I don't know if they ever recovered it because all the games became really inaccessible to me after 2. But like, yeah, I just wonder what could have been. The endings and stories were very, very good in Samurai Warriors 1, and they were very, all staying in their own lanes in terms of what they accomplished, what they hoped to accomplish, who they were fighting, how they fought them, and then the backup endings are good, and that's the whole point. They make the backup endings not look amazing because they're like, this, if you got this ending, you should keep going. And that works well with Magoichi's because Magoichi doesn't have a branching story. He just has an extra level if you do everything right leading up to it. So that's what's cool. And then obviously the main characters from Xtreme Legends have their own unique special endings, but they have good graphics on both their endings. So that's kind of a nice touch too. So I think that's everything that I want to say about these games. I do think that Samurai Warriors 1 and Xtreme Legends are masterpieces. Slight issues with voices and not being able to quit out of the game, but like that's it. This is an old game. The list is not very big for why I like for what needs to be improved in this game. There's like 2 things. I mean, the endings are great. The new character mode with their own Musto mode is fantastic. So easy to expand on that. They totally didn't. I don't know why they didn't. They set the stage with this game. It's just so funny to me. I don't know. I don't know why they... I feel like this game was a masterpiece and also set the stage to be expanded on in an incredible way. But what they ended up doing with Samurai Warriors later is making it just like a Japanese Dynasty Warriors. That was not what this game was. It had some strategy. It had missions. It had elements that were different and unique. I don't know why they basically just watered down all the characters by adding 1 million characters to these games. And then they were not unique characters. And this is just a funny moment. This thing, she totally flashes Yukimura right there. Look at that. She just turns towards him and straight up flashes it. Like she is. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say more about that, but that's pretty funny to me. She is showing him the goods. Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyway, pretty funny ending. I don't think they expected you to play as the chick that's wearing the shortest skirt of all time. So that's pretty funny. I just didn't even know what I just picked a random character. So it was pretty funny. Yeah. So I think that the only thing that I would have changed is in the later Samurai Warriors games, just expand on what this game started. Having the dojos was awesome. Make there be unique endings for each of the new characters. That would have been really cool. I think they could have easily done that and it would have been great. And they didn't do that. So they just watered down everybody in Samurai Warriors 2 and had dream stages that were all the same for everybody. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. It was stupid. In this game, there's no dream stages because the endings are complete. The story is told. There's no need to have a dream. It's just not relevant. So, I don't know. It's just my thoughts. I think that these games are masterpieces and they're very fun. Hope y'all enjoyed the video.